the kid. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're riding in here for another lovely week of football Dugout where Pep is going to be exposed as the loser. He is chill. I was just joking in there. We're going to talk about 7-2 and we have a Tottenham fan to address 7-2 because I still don't understand what the hell happened there. We're going to talk about Poch. We're going to talk about United. I don't know how relevant those clowns are. We're going to talk about Liverpool. Is it their title to lose? Inter Milan and Juventus as well. Touch a bit on the Bundesliga and we're going to review the Champions League and maybe look ahead to the massive doubleheader. So again, I'm not alone when I do this crap. I am with two lovely guys. Nick's, of course, he's still Skyping because he doesn't know how to debate with the
Coward.
So, introduce our guest first here.
What's going on? It's Jack here. I'd like to say happy Spurs fan, but I'll be chatting out of my backside.
So basically, those that remember, because I know a lot of you say, "Oh, where's Fan Park?" Fan Park is gone, by the way. But he used to be on Fan Park for if you're the episode. If those Fan Park guys, he was definitely there. And got your boy Devil. What's up?
What's good? I like the intro you did there where you counted up to 10. That's how many goals Spurs have conceded in the last 2 games.
Look. We'll get there. So, guys, so obviously, if you go onto my Twitter page, the Twitter poll is out there right now on your boys' Twitter page, and it's about, is this the end of Poch? You know, are we really seeing the end on the cycle under Pochettino and Tottenham? So, vote in there, and we'll view the results of the poll later on in the show. So, look, man, let's just get right down to it, man. There's no time to waste. The review of the weekend. So, I think we start. Let's start in the Premier League. Let's start in the Premier League. Let's be respectful here. So, 8 points.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I am shocked that the gap is already this big to begin with, and a lot of people are now saying that it's Liverpool's title to lose. That may be true, but they were like 7 points or 8 points clear around, I think it was December or November, a lot later, and then we all know what happened against Leicester City, against West Ham, and against Everton. Like, they had it with them. All they did was just one win from those 3 games that have been champions. Because for some reason, Pep Guardiola decided to lose 2-0 to Wolves against a guy who bleaches his skin. So, my thing, shout out to Daniel for actually showing me the before and after pictures of the dude. So, I'll come first to Devil then. Is it too early to say that it's Liverpool's title to lose? I mean, we are only in October right now.
Yeah, I seem to remember a few weeks ago, I'm going to go back into Devil Knows volume, must be 98 by now. I said, as soon as Laporte got injured for a long-term injury, Liverpool's title. The difference between this season and last season is Laporte was fit and they had company and they had people in the centre of defence who you can rely on. Now that Laporte's gone, company's gone, they have Otamendi, who, as we saw at the weekend, got absolutely rinsed by Jimenez for the first goal. He is not a reliable centre-back on his own. They're playing Fernandinho in there. Fernandinho is not a centre-back. He's a reliable player, but he's not a centre-back. They have issues defensively. They were very strong defensively last season. This season they've looked shaky in quite a lot of games. Yeah. So I think that's the difference, whereas Liverpool have got this 90s Man United magic where you know they're going to win. It doesn't matter if it's the 97th minute, they're going to score. They have that luck. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying they're getting decisions that they shouldn't have, although the Mane thing was very much, he played for that penalty.
But
there was contact.
Yeah,
there was contact, and he went down.
Football, yeah.
But if the shoe was on the other foot, I know our Liverpool fans would be talking. So, but it was a penalty. But where I'm saying the luck came into is, what the hell was Albrighton doing? What was he doing? All he had to do was kick that out for a corner.
Yeah.
And he dallied. Schmeichel got into a bit of a mess. They get the penalty. That's what Man United used to do in the 90s. All the time. Liverpool have got that about them. So for me, Liverpool's title. I can't see anything other than Liverpool winning and gloating for the next 15 years about being the best club in the world, and we're all going to have to sit there and watch it and listen to that crap.
For me, I still feel it's a bit early, man. But so, Jack, where are you seeing it right now? It's a Liverpool clearly title chance. It's flipping October, bro. So
it might be October, but listen, Klopp is such an adaptive manager. You got to remember when he started and the football he was playing and the naivety Liverpool as a whole were showing before rock and roll football and all that. They were shipping goals. As soon as he did get Van Dijk, he changed his style of play along with it.
Yeah,
he started taking leads early and sitting back. He never used to do that. He used to always want more constantly. Then the following season, last season, he was pragmatic, especially in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And Liverpool were ruthless in the final third. And I think this time round, it's more points clear than he was last season. And they only lost the title by 1 point. But also, I think Man City have more slip-ups in them. I think Liverpool will learn from last season as well, their mistakes. And again, I think the injuries with Man City, you got what you said about Otamendi. I think you were too easy on him. He's terrible.
No. I mean, basically,
He's
he's been called Mustafi 2.0 in the live chat.
I don't know. Mustafi's balling this season though. I'm just gonna put that out there.
So Mustafi or Otamendi, who's worse?
Otamendi's a better footballer.
Yeah.
As far as a better defender goes,
I think maybe Mustafi's edging it as of right now.
Yeah.
So just to look at Man City briefly right now, I mean, because I think you raised a very interesting point that I'm going to come back to you, Jack, for this is adaptability. As you said, Klopp, because I still think one of my favorite sides ever to watch was Klopp's Dortmund side.
Yeah.
They played some amazing football and all like with Lewandowski, Götze and all those guys. And what was amazing is he actually adapted his style and he changed his style. Pep has always had a clear philosophy. And how can he argue? League championships for Bayern Munich, league championships for Barcelona, and 100 points one season, 98 points another season. But in watching that game against Wolves, I was like, just play the ball long, play the ball direct, but it was shot. So do you think that us saying Pep is a good manager, in the way of managing situations, is actually a bit far-fetched? All he has is a philosophy and he just relies upon the talent around him?
You just got to look at his Champions
Devil,
League
you know I'm right, so don't shake it.
I'm shaking my head.
You got to look at his Champions League record, right? He hasn't won the Champions League in 8 years now. And he's supposed to be one of the greatest managers ever. And I think he is. But... Because managers like
Messi gave him those
managers like Alex Ferguson only won 2 Champions Leagues in 26 years of football management. So, you can't just have one rule for one manager and another one for the other. But you look at his Bayern Munich teams. They were European champions. They were arguably the best team in Europe the following season as well when Pep first became manager, and he didn't change his tactics. And it was if every season at Bayern Munich, it was just like Groundhog Day in the semi-final or quarter-final. He would either have Real Madrid absolutely destroying him on the break or Barcelona when they had MSN. So, he hasn't learned from that. He still hasn't learned from that. He's very stubborn in his style of play. And while it works 95% of the time, when it doesn't work, you can see it really clearly. And I think also another factor with City perhaps is the Fernandinho factor in that DM position. The number of fouls this guy gives and the number of yellow cards he gets away with not getting. Rodri isn't doing that. Rodri hasn't. That's not his game.
Yeah.
And it's those nippy little things that he stops.
Yeah, he doesn't have that nasty streak. Whereas Fernandinho is one of the best tactical foulers you're ever going to find.
He's brilliant. He knows when to foul.
And he's very good at getting away with it somehow. Because they're never really obvious fouls. But you know what he's doing. He'll run across someone, or he'll accidentally clip someone's heels. You know what I mean? He's very good at that. And that's one thing that I haven't really seen him do this season. Really, that's a good point that you bring up.
So let's turn our attentions now to Boychester to Divided. Manchester United, in case some of you guys don't know, that's the real thing right now. For me, look, and I think me and Nick we're going back and forth within this, and I think I actually want to hear your guys upon this. I don't think that they should be given that much airtime because these guys are garbage. These guys are, because I could only, because I was obviously in the office on Sunday, so I had to watch and also do my work as well. But from the few minutes that I saw of them against Newcastle, these guys are horrible. So we're only giving them airtime because of their brand and their fan base. But one thing about this, that may be all well and cool, but with regards to being elite and relevant on the football pitch, these guys are not relevant whatsoever. They are light years behind Liverpool, Man City, Juventus, Bayern Munich, and so forth. So before we really get onto the item, specifically with the struggles, I'm going to come to Devil with this right now. Who is most to blame? Woodward, the Glazers, or Solskjaer?
Okay, just to firstly tell about the point of them being relevant and being on airtime. Most of the most popular TV programs revolve around depressing situations, like EastEnders. There's no happiness in EastEnders, but people love it. That's why Man United are on TV, because Man United are suffering and we're all loving it. So keep them on TV. I want to see them suffer. I want to see all their fans depressed. I love it. That's good TV. Don't take them off TV. Let them suffer in plain sight so everyone can watch it. To answer your question, it's Woodward. Although you have to say Glaziers employ him, so therefore it's their fault ultimately. But Woodward is not a football man. He has no clue. They desperately need a director of football to go in there and actually shake things up and take care of the transfers and take care of the football side of things and let Woodward focus on the business side of things, because it's obviously not working. Solskjaer is out of his depth. What makes me laugh is they did all this fitness training, blah, 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 at the beginning of the season, and they're suffering horribly from injuries. That is mismanagement in itself. And that, just to say one other point, Liverpool never get injuries. When you look at the style of football they play, it's non-stop, blah, blah, blah. They never get injuries.
I think that's down to them slowing their play
Exactly.
down.
Yeah.
Whereas Man United, he's got them doing all these crazy training drills, and they're falling like flies. So from top to bottom, it's just a mess, and it's going to take them a long, long time to sort it out. I think Woodward needs to be either taken out of that role completely or moved aside, and a director of football needs to come in. I think they're desperate. I think there's only 3 clubs in the league that don't have a director of football.
So look,
it's them, Newcastle, Sheffield United.
So is it your thought that, let's say, a better director of football comes in, do Man United then suddenly...
No, it's going to take a while. But that's a start. That's a good starting block. You have someone in there with a football knowledge, someone who knows... Because we were talking the other week about their scouting network. It's terrible. It's terrible. All they do is Fred, 50 million. Fred is never a 50 million player. Do you know what I mean? Daniel James, they tried a thing. It seems like it's working okay. That's fine. Wan-Bissaka, 55. He's a great player. I love him. He's not worth 55 million. Maguire, 80 million. Never is he an 80 million defender. Never.
No, but for my thing about it is that if you have the cash, spend it. So it's like, look, like you need a defender. These guys are obviously rich. Yeah, screw it.
Yeah, but then you could get another centre-back for half that price and use that other 40 million to fill in some other voids in the squad. You spent 80 million on Harry Maguire. I'm sure if you look at centre-backs that have moved around Europe in the last 2 years, you can find a centre-back just as good as Harry Maguire for half the price.
So, Jack, thoughts on Borchester to divided? Is it finished for these clowns or?
It's for the fish. You know what the saying is. This is relevant for most clubs. The fish smells from the head, and it comes from the owners. It trickles down. No matter what happens, you have to look at what's going. You have to look at that first, and then see where it leads to. And it always goes back to the board. I look at your club, Arsenal, for example. Stan Kroenke. Like the issues do stem. Your primary issues stem from him.
Yeah.
It stems from the lack of investment and the lack of direction in the club, and that's probably improving with your new recruitments.
We've got Edu in now,
Yeah.
director of football in place.
Yeah, and there you go, and that's a positive step, and that's a change that the owners need to make. But like at my club, which we'll discuss later, there's many, but yeah, it does. It comes from the top, and there's no direction in what they want to do with the club. They're just throwing money. It's just like a guy with more money than sense, basically. They're just throwing money at situations and expecting different results.
So just very quickly, I mean, if you had to put a number, how many years before United become relevant again and competing and trying to win trophies? How many years? If you're going to put a number, mine is 7.
I mean, if the Glazers still run the club for the rest of my life, then for the rest of my life.
No, it could take at least 5 years. It could be, as what they want to do right now is they just want to remain competitive and remain getting into the Champions League if they can, so that they can keep the money ticking over, and not just that, attract players still, because I doubt in the next 2 years the name of Manchester United is going to be enough to bring players through the doors. They're going to need to show that they can compete on the football pitch.
It's like Liverpool in like the earlier this decade. They were the best they could attract at one point was Andy Carroll for 35 mil.
Yeah,
you got to remember that. And considering the size of Liverpool, they got gargantuan. They had to slowly build their way back, and they have to really recruit well in terms of management to slowly find a way. It's like with us, the owners haven't changed, we haven't won anything, but you got to slowly recruit and find that gem of manager that can slowly get you up there.
All right, so next one topic before we go to the main topic. So, but guys, in the live chat, I'll be viewing through. Tell me, how many years is it going to take before Boychester Divided will become relevant again? Give me a number. How many years? Anything below 5, get yourself off this live show. So it has to be 5 or above. Tell us. Inter Milan against Juventus. For me, the Serie A is over. In case people are not in the know, Juventus have won the Serie A 8 times in a row. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row.
One more than what Bayern Munich scored. One more than what Bayern Munich scored at the Spurs Stadium.
It's sad.
Yeah,
So my thing about this is that, because I thought Juventus were very impressive. We talk about like how good can they be with Sarri and everything, but do you feel that already? Because I had this discussion like on the Sunday hangers, and guys said, well, it's still early on the season. Inter Milan have Conte. You never know. This is a different challenge as opposed to the challenge that Napoli proposed. But do you feel that with Juventus beating Inter Milan away from home, outplaying them, it's a done deal, and Inter Milan will not be able to recover, even if they're only 1 point behind going into international break?
I mean, you got to remember, where did they finish last season again?
Inter. They were 4th on the last day of the season.
You can't expect a big jump. I know they've got a world class manager in Conte, and I envy any team that has a manager like him. He's a top class manager. But I'm looking at some of their players now. Defensively, they are strong. They got Skriniar, they got Godin, and they got Divray.
Yeah.
And they've got Handanovic, who's an experienced keeper as well. That's a good base to start from. If you're a new manager, you dream of a back line.
That defense is damn good.
And you can build on from that. But then you got like young players like Barella and Martinez.
Sensi is very good.
Sensi's very good.
Yeah.
I won't get onto him because he is a very good young player. But Barella and players like Barella and Martinez, how many goals does Martinez have?
I mean, but he's getting key goals.
I mean, he's not good. He's not a 20 goals.
But you'd hope for goals from Lukaku.
That's where the goals
are coming from.
To supplement that.
That's where they come in.
But I think Juventus are just they're a beast. Do you mean they're a beast? When they need a result, in Italy especially, they get it.
But it's a different coach though. It's a different coach though. So you think that will take time for them to now go away from that leg?
They're a beast from the club as itself. It goes back to that 90s Man United energy, where you just know when we need a result, we have the players that know what to do and they will get that result. You look at players like Higuain, who was out the door. He's come back and he's scoring important goals for them. Dybala was close to leaving as well. He had problems. Comes back in the team. He's scoring goals. These players make the difference. Ronaldo isn't even really tearing it up this season, not doing much. But they've got such a strong squad and such an ethos in the squad of just a winning mentality that I find it very hard to see anyone getting close to them. If someone gets close to them, it's an achievement. But to go away to Inter, who have been 100% before that game, and lost a game or drawn a game or anything, and to go in there and beat them 2-1, that's a massive, massive blow from Inter Milan psychologically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they got to be thinking, what do we need to do? You know what I mean? We could win all our other games, but we can't beat Juve, and ultimately that's what's going to cost you the title. You have to win those games.
It's like last season of the Premier League, isn't it? Man City, Liverpool.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, I asked the people like how many years it's going to take before United to become relevant again. So 10, 8 minimum, 6 years minimum, mostly 10, 8 years. So boom, bro, it's going to take a damn long time. So let's just briefly touch upon a few of the leagues before we go on to our main topic. So let's just briefly go into La Liga right now. Cannibal Suarez in 2019. Insane goal he scored against Inter Milan. His goal on the weekend, but insane. Because I still feel he's on the decline. But sometimes he just pops off and scores the most outrageous goal ever. Do you still think that he still has like a great season in him? Or do you still think that these are just flashes in the pan from Suarez?
I still think he's still quality, but he's got that ability, he's got that tenacity.
Then why was he a brick last season in the Champions League then? When they did him at Anfield, he flopped. So it's like
to be fair, they all flopped apart from Messi.
Yeah,
all of them.
They all let him down.
No, I mean, but then though, so is he still elite? is he still? I mean, so where do we place Suarez? Is it just he can do something amazing in a few moments? No, he still has something in him. He's still on the decline. Like, where do we put him in? Because when I see him score some of those goals that he scored, I'm like, my God, this guy is bloody amazing. But then he's just not as sharp or as clinical in the biggest games consistently as he was during that 2015 season, during that 2013-2014 season for Liverpool.
How many goals did he score? Was it like 2 years ago for Barca? He scored 40 goals or something?
Like 40 goals.
He's still got it in his locker. Don't get me wrong, he's still got it in his locker. The consistency as you get older as a footballer tends to drop off in most footballers, especially strikers. I think in terms of is he still elite, I'd put him in that bracket, but he'll be at the bottom end of that bracket, if you understand what I mean. So your Lewandowski's will be above him. Your Aguero for me is above him. I'd put Kane above him at the moment.
What?
Yeah, I'd put Harry Kane above him at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Above who?
But Suarez. But I'd put Suarez at the lower end of that elite bracket.
And he's a good.
Aubameyang, obviously, before anyone gets on to me.
No. He's a downward goal scorer.
That's a good point with like Lewandowski. He's been sharper this season than he was last season. So you can you can adapt your game a little bit, and he's just. I mean,
actually no, that's a nice segue about Lewandowski. So Bayern Munich, for some reason they lost to Hoffenheim, but then other guys then dropped points as well. So like Mönchengladbach obviously top right now, which that's not going to happen. Do you still so if you're Bayern Munich, do you prioritize the Bundesliga or do you prioritize the Champions League? If you're Bayern Munich,
at this stage right now, I think they can afford to have eggs in both baskets. They've got a strong squad. They have rebuilt
a strong squad. Okay.
I think Coutinho is a good addition. Definitely, I think. Lewandowski's looking as good as ever, and they. Again, I'm basing it off trauma, but they are, they can, compared to the other teams in Germany, I think, again, it will boil down to them and Dortmund towards the end of the season.
Oh, okay. Dev?
Yeah, I just think it's a shame that Dortmund and both Leipzig couldn't take advantage of
No, those guys are losers, man, complete losers.
I think, but in terms of your question of should they prioritise, I think they can afford to go all in on both. I think they're definitely strong enough to win Bundesliga while still really having a go at the Champions League. I think they've got a bigger squad this season than they had last season. Better players in the squad, around the squad. Even with the losses of Ribery and Robin, who weren't really playing much. So now that they have, obviously Koeman's fit and he's actually playing well at the moment, even though I don't think he's great. Gnabry's obviously flying. You said Coutinho's in there. They've got Perisic coming off the bench, so they've got a lot more depth in the squad. And I think
and Pavard, Hernandez.
So I think I think they could be quietly confident of going very far into the competition in terms of the Champions League and retaining the title again in Germany.
Well, this dude just says Dortmund bottled a 2-1 lead 3 times in a row.
Well, that's a great segue onto our main topic, bottling.
All right, so look, man, main topic, man, and this is the reason why we have our dear friend Jack over here, man, who's actually, how long have you had that Twitter name for? #Levy out.
Oh, it's been a year and a half now, something like that.
So look, basically, my thing is this so this is really about Pochettino, Tottenham, and where they are right now. Oh my gosh, is someone called?
No.
We've got a finalist game? No.
It was just a test.
Okay, so basically, let me just say this right now.
But the phone lines are open.
Your phone lines are open. I don't know what the number is. Look in the description box below. Tottenham. I believe that Champions League final was the peak, and I felt like that was it. And my thing about it is that, again, obviously Jack can obviously jump up, but let me just give my take here. I believe he's lost the dressing room. And when you lose the dressing room, that's it. Any manager that's lost the dressing room has never regained it before. One of your best players, Eriksen, his mind is already thinking about Real Madrid. He's not signing that contract extension. It's not happening. And I just feel that for Pochettino and this team, there comes a time when, and I think this is the criticism that people have on Mourinho, like the whole 3-year thing, that when you're in the training ground, that message isn't getting put across, and the motivation isn't really there within training, and you can see that within the team because, as we said even previously, what was Tottenham's strongest suit was how strong they were defensively, and Alderweireld and Vertonghen were so good. They're making mistakes. Their body language is lethargic as well, and even when Tottenham are attacking, it's very much like ISO football where an individual just trying to do something and make something happen. So it is just clear to me that it's finished. But the issue here is this: Levy isn't going to sack him because of the severance package.
No.
Pochettino isn't going to resign because Pochettino is like, my God, I want my severance package. So my view now is that, and this is just from my take right now. Let me start with this because there are many ways to unpack it, but let me start with this right now. If you were the decision maker and you're seeing the state of affairs right now, what is the first thing that you do? What is the move that you make right now?
Decision maker is in the owner of the club.
Or basically, let's say you're leaving.
If I'm
So
leaving,
let's say
if
what
I'm
do you
leaving,
like?
if I was a Spurs fan, I'll sack myself.
Oh,
I would know what's going on. I'll know I'm the problem, because he is the main problem. But I was talking about Man United and Arsenal. With the saying, just the fish smells from the head. Okay, where do I begin? Summer 2018. That summer was a disgrace. It was a shambles. It was an absolute atrocity. No one was happy, but we still had some fans that were backing, the move. Like, oh, do you know what? Like, we trust the process, trust the project. This, that, the other. It's coming back to haunt us now. We've kept all our deadwood because we haven't signed anyone. We've got Wanyama, Dyer, Rose is declining. Aurier hasn't.
It's useless.
No,
I love it.
Absolutely terrible. Lamella, we've wanted him out the company, even though he's been one
he's
of our
only there
better
because
players.
he's Argentine. He's only there because he's Argentine.
Probably. Lloris isn't, as sharp as he used to be. Just so much deadwood in the side, and we've started getting rid of that. Janssen, Llorente, Trippier, but it seems like Trippier isn't even the problem. In hindsight, it's just way deeper than him. And it's down to, again, that summer really hurt us. But we've been poor since February. We've won 9 games in 38 this calendar year. That's relegation.
Yeah.
So
When was the last? You haven't won an away game.
We haven't won an away game since January.
Yeah.
So if you have to pinpoint the issue, is the issue Pochettino? Is the issue a lack of transfer? So therefore, it's Levy's issue. If it's a pinpoint, what is it? Because again, an argument can be said that if you're a great manager, those are still quality players. You can get the best out of them. Or is it a case of Pochettino needed to get support to actually have more new players to really motivate the first team?
It's good to look at the nuances and break things down in football, but in 18 years of football, you got to look at the big picture, the massive picture. 1 trophy under Enoch and Levy's chairmanship. This has happened. This has happened every era. We haven't been successful. We've always had, managers have always run their course, and it's a common factor in his chairmanship. So it's primarily him. Pochettino isn't helping himself with the tactics that's been implemented. His substitutions have always been poor, but he's made up for that with his footballing philosophy and the desire to get the players out there, and the players togetherness and able to press and close down spaces really quickly like we used to. We don't do that anymore. That's completely stopped. That we don't have the players to do that as well. Our fullbacks used to fly. We used to always have high fullbacks, always in the halfway line onwards. And we used to have Dembele, Wanyama, or Dyer, whoever was in that defensive midfield position, able to cover those spaces whenever we lost the ball. Kyle Walker, Danny Rose, when they're at their peak. We don't have those fullbacks anymore. So it is personnel. It is a big personnel issue. Those players, even the ones that were good at one point, they've declined massively. And another question for both you guys. We finished 86 points in 2017, 16-17 season. Is our squad now stronger than that squad?
No. And I think that the performers who really excelled in that. Like Dele Alli's form has fallen off a cliff.
Oh,
He looks shot of all confidence whatsoever. Eriksen's gradually declined, but that's probably because of the contract situation and whatnot. Vertonghen and Alderweireld definitely declined.
Yeah,
Definitely. They were a fearsome partnership before. Now, I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know if there's the thing with Vertonghen and Kane, which was not about Eriksen's wife, which is bollocks.
No,
I heard
that was
Vertonghen said something to Kane regarding the Champions League final, and Kane gave him one of them. But obviously, that's not going to help the team if that's true.
I believe so.
I think the fullbacks is a really good point, because I remember years ago saying Tottenham's fullbacks is a massive strength because they push you back, and they've not replaced Danny Rose. Ben Davies is all right, but Danny Rose has never been the same. And Aurier is not a footballer. Aurier is terrible.
Sometimes he can do some good stuff.
Yeah,
there is
he has,
quality
you know what I
there.
mean?
He has good moments.
He has good
moments.
games. He has good games. It's just.
We have a call?
There's a call here.
Yo, you're on Football Dugout. What the hell do you want?
Hey, it's Frank. How's it going, man?
What's that?
It's who?
Frank.
Frank. Okay, Frank. Yeah, so what's your question, man? What is your question for the panel? We're talking about Poch and Harry Kane being overrated. What's your question?
Yeah, Kane, man. He's fallen off a cliff as well. Yeah, I was going to say about Dele Alli. He's obviously much better, but Harry Kane. Since the number of ankle injuries he's been having, it's definitely had an impact. If you look at the number of shots he's taking per game, they're down seriously compared to what he was doing a few years ago when he was at his peak. And it just doesn't seem as mobile. Some of this maybe is a little bit, just down to your own judgment. But I think Spurs are in a problem now, because they've had this low wage for a long time. But the problem with having a low wage for a long time is sooner or later, they start looking around and they start seeing, hey, Salah's over there getting 200 grand a week, and people at what's his name, so Marcus Rashford's over at Man United getting 250 grand a week. This can't continue. So if you're that's Eriksen, apart from the fact that he wants to be challenged, I think Eriksen's like 60, 70 grand. Why would he, he wants to get paid at the end of the day, he's not getting younger. And sooner or later, you can be smart for a few years, but after a while you've got paid.
So actually, very quickly, Frank, let me ask a question, but then I think maybe Jack can also ask as well. But Frank, about Harry Kane, because he actually went where I wanted to go, and maybe we can all comment on this. Yeah. So do you believe that it is a detriment to Tottenham that Harry Kane keeps on being played and never gets stopped? Because I've always said, like, the quicker, faster, more mobile lineup of Eriksen, Ali, and Lucas Moura is actually much more dangerous than Harry Kane, specifically for particular oppositions. So do you feel that Pochettino is making the wrong decision of never subbing off Kane?
That's why he's not getting the goals. Or that's why he's not in the same vein of form as he has been in the past. You got to realise he needs to be in the box, and we need to be a better team for him to get those goals again.
So you don't believe that the issue is Kane? You believe that it's the issue of the service to him?
Have you seen us play this year?
I've seen
The service is non-existent.
We don't know how to pass the ball.
Yeah, I think you have Lucas Moura should be playing alongside Son, alongside Kane. He's playing this diamond formation, and he's playing this. Although Sissoko was right back the other day, Winks and who else you got in it? Ndombele, and all of this, and then he hasn't really got that pivot at the top of the diamond. Whereas before, if he plays a Son wide and Lucas Moura wide, Kane in the middle, and someone just behind him like he was before, that's a much more fluid formation where you're going to get a lot more service into the box, and that's where Kane's going to thrive.
No, but my thing for me, I still feel you guys are making excuses for Harry Kane. I still feel because
name a striker that's going to score with no service.
My issue is this: he is too stiff. He's too immobile. I have seen Tottenham play without Harry Kane, and the way in which Moura, Ali, Eriksson, and Son they interpret each other, they move in and out. It is much more fluid and it's much more dangerous because when you have a guy who can't get onto a through ball.
Ali's been dead for 2 years.
Ali's been horrible.
Basically, I just remain in there for that because really my focus is really Eriksson, Son, and Lucas Moura. I feel that's three against certain oppositions is far more deadly. Harry Kane does. You're Frank. Yeah, what's up?
I want to talk about Man United.
Go on then.
Okay,
let's talk Man United. Then we'll get back to Spurs because I'm finding it funny.
Talk as long as you want about Man United, mate.
Yo, I'm HH.
Talk.
Do you think Oli should be sacked?
No.
Well, it depends. If you
From an Arsenal point of view,
yeah. No, basically, if you're not a United fan, then he should be there for the next 5, 10. So basically, as a United supporter, I'd sack Solskjaer now.
Yeah.
Yes. I would sack him now. But the issue about it is that who the hell are you gonna get? Because the funny thing is,
Pochettino. Allegri, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think Pochettino would be a good signing just because it would piss off Spurs.
No.
He's a what?
Pochettino is a bottler.
He's a bottler. No, that's the club. It's not him. It's the club. It's in their DNA. Something to do with the lunch they get in the lunchroom.
Okay, but look,
Italian.
wait. Let's go back to. But yeah, look. Thanks for your call, bro. Let's get about this whole Tottenham thing, man. So let's just really look past this whole thing as to looking for solutions right now. What is the way forward right now? So that's what I asked. Okay, what do you do right now? In my opinion, the Pochettino era is finished. I do believe that a new manager must come in who is the complete opposite of Pochettino with a completely different philosophy. People have said, okay, Ten Hag is like the sexy name to now bring in now, and everybody is not into like attacking, offensive, false and inside forwards. Where Pochettino, he doesn't really have a sexy offensive plan. So, how do you think what is the move forward to try and get Tottenham to actually move into a new era? Or do you believe the issue is Levy, and if Pochettino gets given the cash, everything can now be better?
You got to give Pochettino the chance to actually have a top quality squad to deal with, because he's had a top quality team. He hasn't had strength in depth with that, and I think you have to give him that chance before you make a judgment on him, like overall as a whole. But the problem is, if with these owners, can he do more? And you can't really.
That's a good point. Even if you get a new manager in, you're not going to give him the money to restructure the squad. So he's going to be working with the same team. And I think the problem that Tottenham had for a long time, even though they were playing well, is they never had anyone to come off the bench who's really going to push their way into the first team. You know who the first team is. And now a lot of those players who were on the fringes are gone, and you're looking at the bench and you're thinking, there's not much there that you could bring on to change it. Lucas Moura maybe, Lamela, as you said, flashes here and there. But I'm thinking, this is the real Tottenham. This is the Tottenham I've known most of my life. There's only been a few years where Tottenham has been one of the big clubs. How do we know that they haven't just had their little run and now they're reverting to type? This is the Tottenham we all know and love.
But the thing is, like, to have, that's a very long period to sort of be on top of your game.
Well, I mean, you had a run of 5 years?
Punching above your weight.
So 5 years?
That's a long time to do that.
Leeds did it.
No. It's for me. I mean, I'd have to disagree with David there. For me, I don't believe it's a thing of like, okay, they're now reverting, but I just feel like I can see a quality team there that can compete. What I look at there is something happening within the dressing room.
It's fun.
Where
You got to remember 5 years of the same thing. You got to look at Liverpool and Man City squads since Pochettino took over 2014. You got to look at our squad. The list is humongous compared to theirs, and you know all right. Jan Vertonghen, Hugo Lloris, Danny Rose, Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen, Eric Lamela. Who else? There's a couple others. That's a lot of players since.
Been there a long time.
That's been there for that period of time.
And a lot of their contracts are running out at the end of the season as well, isn't it?
Well,
So it's going to be a very interesting.
Like Eriksen is not signing, especially with what's happening now. Eriksen is not signing that new contract because he's just waiting for the Real. Because Real Madrid have already said that we want you. So for Tottenham, are you going to let Eriksen go for free, or are you going to just say, which same thing with Hazard? Let's just cash out. Eriksen is not signing a contract extension guaranteed. Yeah. So it's about cashing out. So and once Eriksen goes, i.e. your brains and your playmaker, I mean then what?
We have to just rely on Lascelles. That's why we signed Lascelles. So we have to. I mean, from what I've seen of Lascelles this season, he's looked sharp.
But can he
flashes?
Can he do what Eriksen does though?
That's something I have to see. Yeah.
Every player has to be replaced at some point.
Exactly, and you got to take a chance. You got to take a punt. You know, there's no point like just avoiding players because could he do this? Because I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to hit those levels. You just got to take a punt. And
actually, it's good to hear because I actually want to ask you this as a Tottenham fan. Going back to that Champions League final, based on everything that would have happened, do you think that it was right that Lucas Moura was benched for that final?
No. Kane clearly wasn't fit.
So you would have benched Kane and started with with the same team against Ajax.
I would have had a fully fit Harry Kane, obviously, but he wasn't. So, and I think Pochettino needs to be a lot more ruthless with. You got to be a lot more ruthless with your top players. You've got to be, some managers don't have that fear of their best players. Mourinho does it a lot. He's known to do that. Like some of the decisions Poch does make have been questioned. I think one of the most suicidal decisions I've seen him make was putting Heung-min Son at left wing back against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. For him to concede a penalty in the first 15 minutes.
Jesus.
Like, Pochettino has made really questionable decisions, but he's gotten away with it because of his footballing philosophy and style of play and the high intensity we used to play at.
So
now
let me ask you a question. If Pochettino did go, who would you want to replace him? Is there any manager out there that you think I could see him in the dugout?
Any available manager or just anyone that's managing now?
We'll go for available manager and then if not, anyone.
There isn't. I don't think with the resources that any manager will be given. There is a. I did think like a good person to like sort of follow on if we were doing well would be like a manager like Nuno Espirito Santo, someone who who's built a squad well and has managed to like develop them and getting them to the best of their ability whilst playing good football as well. But obviously the season Wolves haven't been.
Well, a dude says here, get Jose, get Mourinho. Would you want Mourinho?
No chance. No chance.
Like I said, as we said before, Mourinho would do really well under a chairman that will back him. Him and Daniel Levy will be like Batman and the Joker. Literally. They will be enemies from day one. Mourinho would be his worst nightmare to have Daniel Levy. What would Mourinho do to this team to improve? He would
win a trophy.
No. How?
With who?
With what?
What players?
He won trophies with those losers.
Yeah, but they had a much better team than and a lot more money to throw at it than what Spurs have. He'll have nothing.
He won't get the resources.
You can have Emery if you want. I'll walk him down there.
But look, I think it would be a miss if we don't address what went down. I think it was a Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Bayern Munich, because for me, I believe that was the turning point. After that happened, I was like, yeah, this is it. It's over. Like Colchester was like a huge shock. I didn't think I was like, it was just like, okay, whoa, but I didn't think, okay, this is it. But there was, because the thing about the Bayern Tottenham game was like, it was a very good game. That first half was really close.
That first 30 minutes, we played with a high intensity.
Yeah.
We played like how a proper European night.
No, it was a really good game. But so in your view, what the hell happened in that second half and in that period where somehow
I've seen this capitulation time and time again. I've seen that happen when we lost.
To this extent?
When I was a kid, when we lost to Man United 5-3 at the Lane, that was one of the early signs of capitulation I've seen. Then we did the same thing against Man City when we lost 4-3 in FA Cup 2004. We did something very similar. It was this one of the goals was very reminiscent of when we played Jugout at the Emirates, when we conceded and Fabregas ran through our whole team straight from kick-off. And the players just looked like whatever. That reminded me of that performance, and that's the point where we were like, do you know what? It's done. It's like these players just gave up. And again, 5 years of the same thing, when it's all stale, when nothing's been changed up, you're gonna get that. It's inevitable, and that comes from the owners.
Yeah, I saw Tottenham's first goal and I turned it off. I ain't gonna lie, I switched it off and I didn't watch the rest of the game. I watched something else, and then at the end I went into WhatsApp and everyone was like, Tottenham. I was like, what? 7-2. Oh, I was so happy. I couldn't believe it.
It was just...
And when I found out that Gnabry, the Arsenal boy, scored 4, Wenger sold him on purpose to bring this. He knows what Wenger's done it again, man. I'm telling you. And he used to wear Serge Gnabry's squad number at Arsenal, 27. Real facts.
I mean, no, but I mean,
meant to be, man.
Wenger's a genius.
but like, I mean, this is okay. It'll segue into obviously reviewing for the Champions League. So obviously, Tottenham have a double header against Red Star Belgrade.
Yeah.
Belgrade is a very tough place to go to.
Tough place to go
to. And Red Star, they beat Olympiacos 3-1. So that second place may be between Tottenham and Red Star Belgrade. So based on everything that has happened right now, of course there's an international break to gather yourselves and everything. Do you still feel confident that Tottenham can actually make it through behind Bayern?
No. Again, our form since February has been horrendous. No wins away at all. Again, 8 wins in 38 games, I believe. There's no logical reason for this to turn around. There's no... It's getting worse. You've got Lloris out, and with our injury record, again, that's another topic. I think the training methods are just horrendous. And Ndombele was saying he couldn't hack the first. He looked so unfit the first few games, but he looked much sharper against Bayern, or that first half at least. He still got tired. But we're gonna have to rely on him and Sessegnon and Celso. He hasn't come back.
Wait. So has he played a single game?
No,
this
he's
season?
been injured.
Oh my god.
And you know another...
So him and Lolo Chelsea have both been injured?
Yeah.
Lo Celso's injured on international duty. Is someone's an awful, horrific challenge.
Yeah, that's bad luck.
The other thing about the Belgrade thing is Danny Rose going to go? Because obviously Danny Rose has suffered racism before in Serbia, and he's made he said a lot about it.
Yeah.
Is he willing to go? Will that be a situation?
Again, I think in the first game at Olympiacos, we left Danny Rose out completely, and Aurier. We played Davis and Sanchez at right back, and again, I think that might be a theme for the Champions League away games. That's keeping a certain fullbacks taking some away. So I think Davis and maybe Sanchez will play right back.
What's up to Walker Peters?
No, he's just...
Is he injured, or is he just not? I thought he looked quite good when he played.
Last season,
He's
he's so lightweight.
Yeah.
He is so lightweight. He's not up to it either. We have a serious issue at right back especially, and our both full-back areas but right back is our weakest point by far, which we haven't addressed. He needs to... so... I was thinking just play Toby at right back, because he's played there before for Belgium, and put Tanganga from the youth team and get him graduating to centre back, because he's looked solid in the youth setup. Just bring in the youth now, because if you can't refresh it with signings, refresh it with some youth players at least. Bring Troy Parrott in as well while you're at it.
Alright, so just to round off, send in your questions. So we'll be looking at the live chat. Send in your questions. So any questions you want to send to us, send us those questions right now. We'll be looking at it in the live chat. So while people are sending in questions and stuff in the live chats, so PSG, 2 wins out of 2. Obviously, big, huge win against Real Madrid. Icardi coming in. Of course, Idrissa Gueye coming in. Is this PSG's year? No, it's not.
Again, Tuchel, he's got a very good attacking brand of football, which is good to watch. But again, you need more than that to win the big dog. You know, to get that one trophy, you need that tactical nous. You need that resilience in your team, and you need that adaptability, which is why Klopp won it last season.
You need a bit of luck as well.
And a bit of luck
You don't
as well.
win
Yeah.
cup competitions without a bit of luck.
You do need that
along
as well.
the way.
But sometimes you make your own luck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make your own luck.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
think where PSG have improved is Idrissa Gueye is not a world beater, but he adds a bit of bite in midfield. And if you can harass a team and disrupt their possession, which is something that PSG never really did last season, they allowed teams to have the ball a bit much. But with Idrissa Gueye in there and Marquinhos holding and Verratti doing what Verratti does in the midfield, that's a very balanced midfield. I think that could be a big key to their success in Europe.
Okay. So, question here. Why is Zad still overweight? Now, my thing is this, look. Before I was defending him and everything, and I did see his goal as a quality goal. But then someone sent me a Twitter pic of like a screenshot of his goal. Bro, I can see a beer belly there, man. So my thing is that
But do you know
I'm
how cheap
confused.
beer is in Madrid? Have you been to Madrid?
Probably.
It's proper
No,
cheap.
this
€1.50, bro.
this dude,
Sure.
he's
Wow.
not
There
drinking
you
beer.
go.
He's having burgers, like because
Tapas, dangerous.
tapas box. So
Oh.
Dangerous.
why do you think that this? Do you think that it's a mental problem or something? Why do you think he would go to Real Madrid and actually turn up? He's overweight, so
Well,
why would you be overweight? Why?
His career's he's on the way out, mate. Hazard doesn't
Yeah,
strike.
he's
You know
not
what
on
the
the
thing
way out.
is?
He's not on the way out.
I'm being
Bro.
serious now. I'm being serious. Hazard never struck me as a kind of footballer that loves football.
True.
He kind of strikes me as a guy who is very, very good at it.
He enjoys
and
it as like
playing
a past.
but he's
Yeah.
not really passionate.
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
he's not. No, he's
Do you know
not.
what I mean? Just I like playing football. I'm very
Yeah.
good at it, so I'm going to. So for me, I don't think he's going to be one of those guys where when he hits 33, 34, he's going to be training hard and wanting to stay at the top of his career. I reckon he's one of those guys that he'll play 2 years or 3 years at Madrid and he'll be like, I'm out, peace. And he's gone. And then once he's retired, he's going to be, Ricky Hatton. Bam! You know what I mean? Big as shit.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Ricky Fatton, man. Good
Yeah.
names, innit?
Brendan Rodgers to Spurs. A question here. So
Wow.
would you take him? Doing very good with Leicester City, right?
He's doing. Leicester City have very sensible owners, though. Sensible people run at the club, and they're very astute, and they've got a very good scouting system as well. We don't have that. We don't have that, so it won't work. You're only as good as your owners let you be. And again, when it comes to managers, you can name all these managers all you want. We're not going to improve until we get people that back the club and back the football side of things, and not the NFL side of things.
Yeah, to be fair,
That's
Raiders
wild.
look good on your pitch. You should get to the Raiders. They look great.
I mean, no, no, look. I mean,
If Adele
that's a whole
Beckham
different-
Jr. can play right back, we'll sign him.
Okay, so this is from one of our moderators and a patron member, Josh Byrne, who says, "Will PSG get out of the round of 16?"
Again, this is where it comes down to luck, because it comes down to that draw. If they're drawn against one of their heavyweights, then it becomes a mentality thing where we've got to this stage before, we crumble at this stage. Can we get over that hurdle? But if they get
Semis, quarters max, semis
I
max.
think it's all about momentum. If you could go into it and you get a big result in the round of 16, you go into the next round full of confidence.
They got a
Then you
big
never know.
They got a
You
big
never know.
result against Barcelona a couple of years back.
Yeah, but
They
who
got
was
out
in
that
charge?
second leg.
Emery.
But
the guy's a clown.
It's a similar thing with Man City as well. Man City and PSG are in that same boat. Like
That
it's
oil
that
block.
mental block, that oil block, and that oil.
Yeah.
All right, so of course, you say, what's the problem with Manchester United? Solskjaer, or is the team just poor?
It's everything.
No. But if you had to choose one between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's lack of managerial experience or skill, or just the personnel being bad, which
Their team is better than their performances. I'd say that. I think a manager like Louis van Gaal would yield better results.
okay, so Louis van Gaal with the same team, no Martial, Pogba is sometimes injured, not so injured, McTominay, Fred,
But
Pereira
Tommy's
in
one of their
midfield,
better
Rashford as a
performers,
striker.
yeah.
So you think Louis van Gaal would do better with those players?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he has the tactical nous to get over certain games. I'm not saying he will be rip roaring for them by any means. He wasn't in his time there, but he'll definitely play better, and he'll bring in more youth players through as well, and he'll get the best out of them. And because didn't he beat you lot with like, what's his name, Blackett and
Yeah, Tyler
McNair.
Blackett, and that was one of the worst Man United teams I've ever seen. And considering we haven't beaten them at Old Trafford for how long, that day I was very confident. Like I was on Monday, quietly confident that we would go to Old Trafford and get a result, which is why I was so pissed off that Emery went with such negative tactics, because they were there for the taking. We started 3 defensive midfielders, and we saw the game. It was terrible.
yeah.
All right, so last question right now, and I think this is an interesting one. Who is going to be the first to go, Pochettino or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Solskjaer.
Golly, yeah, because
Solskjaer.
Levy won't sack Pochettino until things get desperate.
So you're saying that a resignation is out of the question from.
Pochettino wants to turn this around. You got to remember, you don't know how much the guy is invested into the club more than people think. He's got his son there. For
Yeah.
Okay, but let me paint this scenario then. Let's say Tottenham, they keep on losing. They don't qualify from the Champions League group. They come third. Let's say they even come bottom, and they keep on lose, draw in the league. You still think Pochettino will still stand his ground? Like, nope, I won't.
He's a stubborn man. He's a stubborn man, and I think he will stand his ground.
Also,
He's very stubborn on the pitch, and that personality translates into like every other aspect of it.
Also, what's he going to walk away into? What other jobs? Are there any other jobs available? If he walks, does he know that maybe Solskjaer is going to be leaving soon? So you're thinking, right, I walk now.
Valencia are
make
looking
myself-
shaky, man, because
But
Valencia.
why would you go to Valencia when you're
Spain? I mean, go back
when
to.
there's people trying to kidnap you? You don't want to go into that. The ex-chairman's trying to kidnap the new chairman. I don't want to go anywhere near that, man. That's EastEnders of the football club.
I mean, no,
It's Albert Square.
No, but look, I said this before previously, even on when we were having this discussion, and I said that Solskjaer will get sacked by Christmas. The way I'm looking at it, right, it's such a mess because my thing is like, if you sack Solskjaer, then what do you do? Like, I mean, who's going to come into the situation because your marquee player Pogba, his head is completely not at United. He's already thinking about moving to the next stage. So, what's the
You have to restructure the club.
Restructure the club.
You have to
so
start.
basically this
from
season
the
is
next
a
It's a
right
write-off.
It's a write-off. You have to start from the next level
Mm.
below Ed Woodward. So that will be what
Director of football. Get someone in.
Get someone in that suits that. Then go lower than that. Scouts. You need a good scout system. Good coaching. Get good philosophy. Change the philosophy. Do what Man City are doing with their academy. Something like that. Something similar to that.
But actually,
I
before
like this question.
what
Can I go with this one? From James Doherty. Poch or Pep? Who's the best dresser? He thinks Poch because Pep likes the scruffy designer look too much.
Stone Island, man. Come on.
No,
Yeah,
Pochettino no. Pep doesn't have to wear clothes, man.
Yeah.
Like he just wears
But
that
sometimes
Stone
Poch
same
Island.
grey
rocks the
thing.
tracksuit and he looks a bit.
That
You know what I mean?
cardigan,
But-
Stone Island.
Yeah, that cardigan is horrible.
But,
Man.
but
He needs to get rid of that.
this dude just said. I mean, okay. Last question, final question is that if Poch leaves, there will be an exodus and Spurs will crumble. So do you think that it's a case of like if he's to go based on just the era that he has built with Tottenham, how he's taken Tottenham to respectability, if he goes, players will just ultimately be like, I'm out. Because I mean, for me, everything that Eriksen is out. Everything he's already off. Son seems to me like a solid dude who may stay. Kane, I think, is definitely going to stay. Alderweireld, I think he's out.
Will he though?
I think Kane. is one of the-
Kane's going to be 27 in
Yeah.
July, and he's going to be thinking, "Wait a minute, I'm better than this.
I need
I actually could
trophies,
be
man."
winning trophies." But regarding the original question about Spurs crumbling, we've been here before in terms of like Champions League club, and then we've sacked the manager and we've fallen back to the pits, and then we got Pochettino. We did that, with Harry Redknapp previously. So what's going to happen is Levy will be like, okay, the Champions League income isn't coming anymore. I'm going to spend a bit more. I'm going to invest a bit more. Let's get back to that position where we were generating an income. Then we will. And then to take that next level to get trophies, he'll be like, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I think if Poch leaves, I don't think Spurs will necessarily crumble. I think one or two players will think, right, it's time to go. If you have any ambitions as a footballer, you want to go to win trophies. So I can see why Kane would want to leave. But I think if Spurs have got one or two decent academy players, you can maybe give them some games and get some other players in. You just need to get the players in who aren't being watched by the likes of Man City or by the likes of Barcelona or even Chelsea. You can offer them a lot more money or whatever. Get hungry players in from the French leagues or wherever. It's been done before. It can be done again. You just have to restructure your look, how you look at the game. I think Tottenham will always be in and around the top 6. I don't think, even if they lose Poch or if they lose Kane, I don't think they're going to drop to like where they were, back in the day when they're mid-table or relegation battles and stuff like that. I don't think that's going to happen.
You got to remember,
there's too much of a infrastructure there.
The facilities that we have as well. It's too big of a stadium. It's too big of a name now to drop back to that level. So, and the income that is generated from that, in theory, should be getting us, keeping us there. But obviously, a lot needs to be changed before we start, having hope again.
Guys, that is the end of this week. This actually seemed a lot more depressing than most episodes because it just seemed very somber.
I loved it.
Based on United and Tottenham, it just seemed very down. But look,
can I just want to say thanks to Jack for coming.
Oh yeah.
I had a feeling that you might bottle it, but you turned up.
But the thing about Jack is that even when we met on the fan part, like you've always taken a very kind of truthful view on Tottenham, because a lot of Tottenham fans that are like, trying to be positive, blah blah blah. But I think even when we even had this discussion before, like you've always kept the same energy of like, oh, Levy has been an issue. Even when Tottenham were doing a lot better. The thing about Levy and how he's running the club, penny pincher, you don't really want to spend. You're running it as a business, not as a football club.
There's a lot of we call them happy clappers in our fan base, and there's a lot of fans that have blocked me without even me interacting with them because just because of my name or my views on Levy and the club and whatnot. And people don't.
You have to be honest.
People hate criticism of the club. People are like, their way of supporting the club is you have to say always say good things about them. You say one bad thing about them, you're not a true fan. You're not a
which
good
is
fan.
stupid.
You don't support the club.
He's the least successful chairman Tottenham have ever had.
He is.
Levy.
Daniel Levy, yeah.
He is.
Okay. Wait, how long has he been chairman for?
2001, 18 years.
One League Cup.
Oh, it was Alan Sugar in the 90s. Yeah.
We won an FA Cup and a League Cup under his chairmanship.
Oh, wow.
Even though we were pretty horrendous in the league.
Alright guys, remember to like the vid, share the vid and all that good stuff. Remember to also subscribe. Remember in the description box below we'll have Devil's Twitter. Also we'll have Jack's Twitter as well in the description box below. Peace out, stage 3. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. So when are you doing that Bayern SmackDown?
I was at home, luckily, or else I would have. If I was in the pub.